We're here today in front of Delacorte Theater here in Central Park, where they show Caesar looking like Donald Trump being stabbed in the back. It's a violent rendition of something, right? The best thing to look at today is the issue of violent behavior in our country, in the political realm, in tandem with the observation that our country is, quote unquote, more divided now than it's ever been. I had that conversation with a big-time Democrat friend of mine, good guy and smart guy, and I said to him, the Kennedy-Nixon election was extremely tight. That was one of the closest elections in U.S. history. That was over 5 decades ago. Being divided is nothing new. His answer was, yeah, Rob, we're more emotionally divided now. I think that's correct. So where is the emotion coming from? You know, I saw Brit Hume, who was a giant for years at ABC, and then, of course, later, Washington Bureau Chief, Fox News Network. I saw him on Fox News Sunday with Chris Wallace. He said that he doesn't think that it's so much that one group is in disagreement with another group, as much as it is that each side sees the other side as something that's evil, that must be stopped. This has been going on the left for a very long time. This is nothing new on the left, the violent behavior. And what happened here at Delacorte Theater, what they're doing here with the Caesar play is a great way to illustrate what we see.
It's William Shakespeare's play Julius Caesar like you've never seen before. A man dressed to look like President Donald Trump gets stabbed to death on stage.
If anybody had ever done that, Barack Obama being stabbed in the back in a Delacorte Theater Caesar display, it would have been, people would have been screaming, it would have been shut down.
Play appearing to depict the murder of the president has made its official debut. The New York Public Theater has lost some of its sponsors over Julius Caesar, but others, like the New York Times and CNN's parent company, Time Warner, have refused to back out.
It's cheap art, and it shows you that they live in such a bubble in New York City.
What does it say about the hearts of some people? Because we had a young lady on yesterday who said she was in the audience and people were cheering and clapping at the assassination of the president.
A lot of the people protesting on the left have said that words are literal violence, but when they're violent and they attack people for having a Trump hat, that's just a form of protest. This is just a form of protest.
There are multiple examples of how people on the left have been behaving very badly, violently, and inciting violence. Look at what they did here at this so-called theater. President George Walker Bush walking out of a Chicago hotel getting shot in the stomach, assassinated. They actually showed that at one of these big film festivals. Look at what Kathy Griffin did with the head with the blood all over it.
Just wonder if I like the hair better before or after. With all the blood?
You got Snoop Dogg. You got Johnny Depp recently said what he said.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president? Now, I want to clarify, I'm not an actor. I lie for a living. However, it's been a while. And maybe it's time.
Look at how Joe Biden talked. What was something about taking Donald Trump under the bleachers?
Press always asks me, don't I wish I were debating him? No, I wish we were in high school, I could take him behind the gym. That's what I wish.
How we insist that the hateful language they hear from public figures on TV does not represent the true spirit of this country. No, our motto is, when they go low, we go high.
Perhaps the best way to illustrate where this all falls is when you look at the Tea Party movement versus the Occupy Wall Street crowd. You look at the Occupy Wall Street people, and you see women being raped, sexually assaulted in their tents constantly. That was happening all the time in those tent cities.
There's sexual assault going on. We're trying to deal with that. I've seen it. Mostly drunk guys going and groping girls. There was a guy that got raped too here, a deaf younger man.
There's your Occupy Wall Street crowd, stabbing police officers in the leg, defecating on the top of police cars. You ask any police officer about the Occupy Wall Street crowd back when they were running around out there, every one of them will say they're a bunch of criminals. Now you compare and contrast that with the Tea Party crowd. Everywhere they went, all the garbage was put in the bins properly. They had bags for overflow side by side. They were simply exercising their constitutional rights to address their grievances. So you compare Occupy Wall Street with Tea Party, and you've got your answer as to where the violence is coming from. It's coming from the left.
A terrifying night of violence as Donald Trump supporters were attacked by an angry mob waiting for them outside a Trump rally. It happened in San Jose. As the crowd headed home, they were set upon.
Yes, I'm angry. Yes, I am outraged. Yes, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
Emergency crews rushed injured House Majority Whip Steve Scalise into a helicopter after a shooter opened fire during an early morning baseball practice for congressional Republicans. Police identified the shooter as 66-year-old James Hodgkinson of Illinois. He ran a Facebook group called Terminate the Republicans.
His social media profile revealed someone who strongly disliked Republican policies and bitterly opposed President Trump. In March, he wrote on Facebook, "Trump has destroyed our democracy. It's time to destroy Trump and company." 2 days ago, he used obscenities to describe this week's White House cabinet meeting. And a year and a half ago, he wrote, "I hate Republicans and everything they stand for." A family member says Hodgkinson was distraught over last year's election. Hodgkinson was a prolific letter writer to his local paper. In 2011, he described Republicans as, quote, "full of hate."
Are we really going to question where the violence is coming from? Are we really going to question who's more violent? And so for those of you who are on the left or good, decent people, you need to take a good, hard look at the company you are in. There is more scum among the liberal left than there is in the pond behind me. So when Brett Hume says these are two sides seeing each other as evil, that each one must be stopped, the one that must be stopped is the one that does all of that sort of thing. I'm Rob Arnold. There's some perspective for you. Keep the perspective.